Now, I would say honestly, get you a whiteboard for this one, or whatever, paper. Have a note taker. What needs do y'all have? What needs are you trying to meet as a pod? That's part of the pod, that fulfillment, that nourishment. You're trying to fulfill some needs. Meet these from your values based goal. It's a nonlinear process, remember, because needs might change. I don't make enough money. I need a better paying job. Like, be as real as possible. Be authentic again on this one. This is why you want the trust. This is where that trust comes in. Authentic and honest. If you know what you need is someone to make you dinner because you work all day and coming home and feeding yourself is like too much, say that. I've been there. I hate working all day and then having to cook for myself. And I love cooking, but I don't like having to do everything alone. That shit sucks. So being able to eat with people or someone feed me, godsend. That's amazing. So be authentic and honest in what you need. This is also undoing that white supremacy, that toxic masculinity, like, I can do it myself, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to, though. That's why we're in a pod. Authentic and honest. Answering this question, look at, like, well, this is just repeating authentic and honesty. What else? What other needs do we have? I would say give people some room about this because it can be hard to ask for help. So I'll add consider difficulty of being vulnerable. Okay, this is again where that trust is huge. You don't want to have people in a situation where they're feeling like, ooh, I'm putting all my stuff out there, and you're just like, oh, I just need like, something. You're being very superficial. And I believe, again, if you've come here looking at this and you're considering this, you're not interested in that superficial, like, oh, I got it all together. Okay, what the hell was I talking about? Your needs exercise should result in a list of everybody's needs, somewhere also recorded. Throw that in the pod binder or whatever you're using. I also do recommend keeping this not digital. Like, have paper records on hand because this is something we should keep safe. So, a listed need of every pod member. Race, all of this. Don't freak out. It's not math. So then we're going to bring our needs and values together. Maybe this is the third time you get together. Y'all go to a park or whatever. You review what are the needs we have for the group. And these are the actual needs of people. These aren't hypothetical needs. These are needs right now that we want met. I have a hard time cooking dinner every night. I need at least 2 or 3 of my meals, subsidized or traded. Okay, we're going to start figuring out how to meet these needs with our values first. So remember, we're going back to that values-based goal setting. Go check that episode if you haven't seen it yet. And again, if you want to hear that in more detail, let me know how to do this exercise and start setting holistic goals based on your values. But your needs are going to be met by the values, okay? And obviously the values, that means the values inform the actions. Values inform our actions. So I'm talking action as an umbrella term, including the type of hobby you pick. How does your value inform how you approach that hobby, how you stay curious about it, how often you do it. The hobby should be treated like a job. Hobby is code, wink, wink, for keeping this clandestine as possible, okay? So the values inform the actions. So let's get an example going. An example of this. Say your values are, now these are a combination of your pod values and your own personal values, because the hobby is ultimately a personal journey that you're going to go on with other people. So for me, if I value fun, I need to pick a hobby that is fun to me, like brings me joy. I don't need to do something I hate, okay? So let's say it's a combo of personal and pod values. I'm just going to do 3. We'll say fun is 1. I want to say health, harmony or something. Harmony. And, to break these down. Fun means I do things that bring me joy regularly every day. Health, my body feels good, my mind feels good. I have practices that help my body, mind, spirit feel good. This can include spirituality, religion. This can include going for a run, getting enough sleep, eating veggies, talking to people who only make me feel uplifted, supported, and heard or seen. Harmony, could honestly go into this, but harmony is like connecting with nature, connecting with my body, meditation practice, but also going for a walk in the woods, drinking tea, having like routines that make me feel steady, stable, and at peace with the world around me and myself. So say these are the values of the pod and us. We can mix and match. Pod and myself, sorry. Okay, so how do these values inform my actions? So my actions, pick a fun and harmonious hobby, okay? Pick a hobby that promotes health. So going off of that example of like feeding each other, fun to me, I like to cook. I really enjoy making roasted food. I really like making soups. That's fun to me, really throwing shit in a pot. I feel like a toilet double trouble type of witch. Harmonious, finding the blends of spices or doing it to music I enjoy, making sure I speak nicely to the soup so the friends, my pod mates that I share it with, get those good energies and yummies out of it. Picking a hobby that promotes, Picking a hobby that promotes health, obviously feeding people. Soup can be really nutritious and not full of garbage, like as opposed to, oh, I'll just pick you up McDonald's every day. We're obviously not doing that, we're boycotting, but do you see what I'm saying? So this is aligned with my values. Okay, you need food, I will promise to make 3 soups a week, and we'll trade whatever for that. So that's something else, the reciprocation, remembering the hobby. We want to be trading our skills or our hobby with each other. But as a contribution, depending on what the needs are that you're meeting, this is it. So bam, soup lady. I don't know. That's my hobby now. I make soup. I make good ass soups. Do you see how simple it can be and how much of a contribution it can make? And you might say, oh, people get tired of soups. That's because they're not having delicious soup. They're eating garbage Campbell's. You feeding people soups and you're getting the veggies from the local garden or something. Do you see how this can get creative, build off of itself, And soup is pretty low cost. Honestly, water and veggies make some delicious stuff if you got the right seasoning. Okay, boom. So your values inform the actions. This guided me to a practice that feels good. Soup lady is not on the hobby list. You might want to add that. But batching meals is, a cook is. You could also come from this like, okay, my friends say they don't feel like they're moving in a way that feels good to them. They sit a lot at their desk or on their phone all day. A fun, harmonious hobby that would be good and chill is leading a nature walk once a week. We meet up on Wednesday nights and do something low-key in the park. But I lead that and I make it fun and mindful and harmonious with like adding breath work at the end or the beginning, or we journal about it and text each other like, what did we learn about ourselves on this walk? We need people to facilitate these things sometimes, and that hobby, like being the nature walk leader, being the soup maker, is what can contribute a better sense of being attuned with our pod values, which is going to bolster that fulfillment, which literally undoes capitalism, white supremacy, and all this pain and suffering we're going through in this environment.